The day is upon us, everybody. Spider-Man Brand New Days trailer just came out not too long ago. This video is coming out definitely a little bit after the trailer came out. I still have a job. I still have to do work. So, you know, my editing time is just a little slow. Work with me here. But by this point, you guys have had plenty of time to look at the trailer once, twice over, watch the breakdown videos about what you missed in the trailer, because we all know we missed a bunch of things. And we got a better, good, solid look at the new suit. I love Spider-Man. A lot of people love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's probably the most popular superhero, period. People could also argue Batman. It's probably Spider-Man, dude. Now, I will admit, I am kind of a casual. I don't read comic books. I don't get into any of the source material like that. Most of my exposure has been through movies. And I have read through small parts and strips of certain comic books, but that's probably as far as it's gone. I am a typical Spider-Man casual. Like all the comic book nerds are probably currently rolling their eyes watching me say this. But luckily for all of you comic book nerds, I have no interest in sharing any of my opinions on where the story's going or what I think is accurate or not, because I don't have any current opinions on that. No, because I am a designer. So instead, I want to touch on Spider-Man's suit. Better said, I want to rank Spider-Man's suit. Where does the Brand New Day suit rank for me amongst all the live action Spider-Man suits that we have seen since Tobey Maguire? So I'm going to be ranking every suit that has been worn live action since Tobey Maguire from worst to best, in my opinion. This is subjective. You are free to disagree with me, but for the love of God, don't get mad at me and think that I'm trying to tout this off as objective fact. And as a note, no, Into the Spider-Verse will not count. Yes, it's pretty obvious. That's animation. We didn't think that it was going to count. You said live action. I don't want to hear the damn arguments of, well, Donald Glover, he was in Across the Spider-Verse when he was playing with a Prowler. So technically, wouldn't that make that a live action movie? No, it's not. I'm just taking a precaution stating this, okay? Believe it or not, there's people that would probably make that stupid argument. Quick announcement. I have started a brand new channel. It is a car channel named after my car, my 1991 Mazda Miata, Squirtle. I'll have that link down in the description and it'll be at the end of the video. If you guys are into cars, you guys want to follow along over there, I'm going to be doing vlogs, I'm going to be doing commentaries, reviews about new car stuff coming out. Anything that I do to the Miata will be going on there. I already have one story time and one vlog up, so if you guys want to go and watch that, support and follow along, if you guys are into that kind of stuff, it'll be great. Any support is welcome. We're gonna have some fun over there. There's gonna be a lot coming up this year, so I'm looking forward to sharing stuff over there. Anyway, back to the video. I will not be basing these opinions on the comics or how accurate they are to comic lore, nothing. This is just based on my opinion, just based on what I'm seeing from a design perspective. The only comic guidance that I'll have is mainly just what I remember from comics, from drawings, from source material, from early illustrations of what a typical Spider-Man suit is supposed to look like. Whatever feels like Spider-Man, at least to me, is what I'm going to be basing this off of, alongside of course just my general design opinion. Anyway, let's start off with number 14 and the suit that I think is the worst out of any of the live action Spider-Man suits. It is the Night Monkey stealth suit. I'm sorry, but plain and simple, it's just not a Spider-Man suit. It's a typical stealth suit that you could see anybody else wearing in whatever other stealthy role you could find in any other movie. The difference is he has the Spider-Man goggles. That's it. Not a Spider-Man suit. It's not visually creative whatsoever. It's just a stealth suit. No one cares. Moving on. Moving on to number 13. It is the suit from The Amazing Spider-Man 1. My biggest issue with this suit is the face. I don't know what they were thinking when they thought of these goggles, but I have to be completely real. They weren't thinking at all. They were smoking something because it doesn't look right. The eyes are too thin. They're not the right color. They don't look animated whatsoever. He just looks pissed. The face almost looks less like Spider-Man and just more like a cheap knockoff version you'd find in some random indie film. And it almost looks more like he's supposed to be like a burglar, not the Spider-Man we know. The spider on the chest is a little hidden, like it blends in too much to the lines on the suit. It's not very pronounced. It doesn't feel like there's a proper amount of balance between the blue and red. Moving on to number 12, I have Andrew Garfield's Vigilante suit. It's probably out of the Vigilante suits the weakest one that there is. This is just very much the fit of some random bum walking down the street and he has just a red mask on. That's it. There's nothing that resembles anything of what's supposed to be Spider-Man. He looks like some random hoodlum about to rob a store. Next, we have number 11, and this might be controversial, but this is a personal thing. It's the black and gold suit from No Way Home. Look, I just wasn't feeling it. I also just didn't see the point. I get from the extended cut of the film, it's supposed to be his normal suit flipped inside out. And he's got like the magic gauntlet on that Doctor Strange gave him so that he could round up the villains. I don't know, it feels weird. Like, it feels kind of pointless. Like, I feel like they just threw in another suit just for marketing purposes and so they could sell more stuff. It's not the worst suit in terms of design. It just feels like there's no weight behind it. There's no attachment to it. There's no attachment to the character through it either. It's just, it's a suit. It also just feels like the least like Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man has a black suit, but there's a very distinct reason in the story why he has the black suit. It's the symbiote suit. This one is just a black and gold suit that has some magic powers to it. I'm not sold, I'm sorry. Maybe it's not the most design reason for having that opinion, but I have the opinion. So sue me, I don't know. In 10th place, I'm putting Tobey Maguire's wrestling suit, his first suit when he first became Spider-Man. That is going to get me a lot of hate. I'm sorry, I get it. All right, look, I grew up with the Tobey Maguire films, believe it or not, even though I am not as old as that statement makes me sound. I don't think it's the weakest of the starting off suits because I gave that one to Andrew Garfield, but I don't think it's the strongest one either. The spider looks a little too perfect. Like, it feels like this suit's supposed to be very, very raw, like a teenager made it with very limited materials, but it feels like he really took his time to like at least spray paint and craft the template for it. It feels like it should be a lot messier and a lot more thrown together. It just, I don't know, it feels a little put together for the context. And I'm not denying the fact it's a simple suit still. It just feels a little composed. Next on my list, I have the Far From Home upgraded suit. It's not a bad suit. It feels a little lackluster compared to the other ones though. It's red and black. It's not a bad suit. It's an alright suit. I get the black trying to be a little different. I don't know if maybe there's a red and black suit that exists somewhere in the comics for Peter Parker. Regardless, feels weird to have a Spider-Man suit without blue, again, in my opinion. It has the same issue that the Homecoming suit has for me, which I'll get to in a sec, where the spider crest is just, it's a little small, kind of just there, almost hiding. It doesn't feel pronounced in my opinion. It's just kind of average. Following it up with Tom Holland's homemade suit. He has the goggles, he has the blue, kind of threw it together with some random clothes that he found. Kind of the same-ish deal as the Tobey Maguire one, where the spider feels still like it's a little too perfect going on there. So for me, it takes the cake. Next, we have the Tony Stark Homecoming suit. Now note, even though it's not this position on the list, it's the same thing as the Far From Home suit. It's not bad, it's just not the greatest. The spider crest feels too small in my opinion. The web lines feel slightly less pronounced. It has a darker blue and then a lot of black outlines, which are cool, but the darker blue with the black highlights, I don't know, it kind of mutes it a little bit, and for me, that's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man's still supposed to have a level of brightness to him. Next on my list, I have the integrated suit. For me, the problem with this suit is that it looks a bit messy. There's a lot going on and kind of hits the same points as the black and gold suit. There is really no reason for it to exist. It doesn't have any integration with the Iron Spider suit or anything. It's just, it looks different. There's a lot of details happening, and I mean, it's not horrible looking. It's just got a lot happening. There's a lot of detail to look at. It has the red and black, but then it also has a bunch of gold. The gold, of course, also being the giant spider crest, and it's huge. And in my opinion, because it's not the Iron Spider suit, the giant crest just doesn't work as well. Next on my list is the Iron Spider suit. This one pulls off a similar design to the integrated suit. Obviously, the Iron Spider one came first, but the design is similar. But in my opinion, it pulled it off a lot better. First off, Iron Spider, it's shiny. It's supposed to look metallic because that's what it is. That's already +1. It's red, it's blue, the spider is blue, and it has gold trim. That gold trim, it doesn't stand out in an awkward way. Why? Because the Iron Spider arms are also gold. That makes it a bit more of a prominent feature of the suit versus just being an accent that was thrown in. The other reason I feel that the Iron Spider suit works better than the integrated suit is because of how the gold accent is thrown in. It's a very light trim. It's a third color, but it's a light trim that goes around more of the suit than the integrated suit. The integrated suit is red and black, and the gold really only exists on the spider crest. So it exists separate from the rest of the suit as its own thing, being the spider, versus the gold existing on the Iron Spider suit as an accent across the entire suit. It balances out a lot better. Next on my list is the Sam Raimi symbiote suit. Detail-wise, aesthetically, there is less detail. You could argue less aesthetically pleasing than the black and gold suit from No Way Home, but I think that's fine. In fact, I prefer it because sometimes you don't want to get too much into the detail. This suit is perfect. It still feels like the suit of a guy who lives in a small apartment paying rent with a 9-to-5 job, who just so happens to also be a superhero that goes out and fights crime. It still feels like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man suit, but obviously with a symbiote. It just has those quintessential Spider-Man attributes. The symbol is fairly pronounced. The webbing is very clearly visible. It just feels very much like Spider-Man. And then that leads into, for me, the next suit, the original Sam Raimi suit, which obviously just builds on exactly what I just said for the symbiote suit, but for the normal Spider-Man suit. It feels like if your typical neighborhood guy just took more time into making an actual suit, and this is what he came up with. The big thing for me with this suit though are the eyes. The thing with Spider-Man, and the reason that a lot of people usually say that he works better in an animation versus in live action, is because of how his eyes can be animated in animation. Because he's wearing a full mask, it feels like the eyes in animation is what gives him a lot of the emotions and shows off a lot of what he's feeling whenever we're watching Spider-Man. And you can't really translate that into live action. The Sam Raimi suit eyes feel a little cold. And obviously any Spider-Man suit, the eyes are unmoving. Of course, you know, putting aside the moving, slightly animated eyes of the Tony Stark suit from Homecoming. But just because there's sharper lines involved in Sam Raimi's suit, it feels slightly more aggressive, which then gets me into the runner-up, in my personal opinion. Number 2 for me is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. The suit feels quintessentially Spider-Man. There's a good balance between the red and the blue. The webbing lines are very well pronounced. The spider crest is very visible and present. And then you get to the mask. The eyes are huge. They're round, they have the sharp points at the top. The suit looks like it came off of a comic book page. The eyes, despite being still, look animated. They look brighter because they're so huge. The face is what sells it a lot for me. It makes it feel a lot more like Spider-Man than the face of the Sam Raimi suit. And I think for me, that's probably the biggest thing that sets it apart. So is it recency bias or is it design? The reason that I'm putting at number 1, the suit from Brand New Day. I think the Brand New Day suit, and it may be recency bias, I may look back at this and disagree with myself. I look at this suit and it feels like it's a proper mix between the Raimi suit and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. The blue is bright, the red is bright, the webbing lines are well pronounced, the spider insignia is very visible and present, the eyes feel rounder, and they look, again, like they came straight off of a comic book page. They're not as large and animated as the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, but they're not as sharp and oddly aggressive as the Raimi suit. They're like a good mix in between. Again, maybe recency bias, but I'm really feeling the new suit, I'm not gonna lie. The suits aside, the trailer's giving me a lot of hope that there's actually gonna be some street level stuff going on with Spider-Man, which is nice to see. I'm really looking forward to this movie. Let me know what you guys think about this list. How would you list it differently? Do you think I'm stupid? This isn't a super detailed list. It's not super detailed opinions. It's really just me having my subjective opinion. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, follow me on all my socials. All those links are down in the description. Today's verse of the day is from Ephesians chapter 6 verses 10 through 11, and it reads, "Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. God bless everybody, and I hope that wherever you guys are, whenever you guys are watching today's video, you have a great and wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.